Next, I'm going to talk about using the append procedure. So we have two data sets, just some fake data sets to run X and Y. And what I'm going to do next is I'm going to append Y to X. You notice they're very similar. They have both a number and sex. And when I append, what's going to happen is I'm going to use X as my base, and I'm going to add Y to the bottom of it. So this whole data set X is going to be changed, much like I did before using concatenate. Now that I've run that, I can run a proc print. And recall, whenever I do proc print run without it explicitly stating the data step, or excuse me, the data set I'm referring to, it's gonna use the last data set that was ran through the system. So the last data set is going to be X. And I was incorrect about that, so just let me put data equals X, and it's going to run the data set X now, or print the data set X. My error is actually that I did not change the title. So whenever you're running a title, you can toggle off title by just putting title and running that, and then proc print the data set X. X doesn't show up at the top because I didn't put a title this time. Now you notice these just run on top of each other because the append procedure appends a data set to the bottom of another one. And something different would be to use interweaving. So let me talk about interweaving next. And let me proc print dataset A and B and put that in the window before we get started so we can recall what it is. Interweaving is much like concatenating, but in interweaving we have an additional statement. We have a by statement, and we're going to arrange these statements by the ID variable and then just run it. So by the ID variable, this means that variable, if we look in the output window, we have A here, D, E, F, G. That's going to be arranged in order. Let me check the log window, and down here it says 4 observations were read from work.A and 4 observations read from work.B, or 3 observations read from work.B. So I run my proc print statement, and just to be explicit, I'm going to put my new dataset name, and I'll put it in the title to be more explicit. Now notice the way it's arranged by ID, by the ID variable. Let me zoom in here. The ID variable A, B, C, D, E, F, G is arranged in order, of course alphabetical order, since they happen to be character variables. If it was arranged by a number, it'd be arranged in numerical order from least to greatest. Now finally let's talk about the match merge. Now match merge is something that does get a little bit complicated, but I'm just going to go through an overview of it here. So I have 2 new data sets I'm going to start with. data set O and data set P, and I'm going to merge the two. Now here I have something that looks kind of like the word merge. When I was first learning this was confusing to me. The data set can be whatever legal data set name you want it to name. Sometimes if somebody's showing an example, they'll name it merge, but you don't have to name it merge or anything of the sort. What's important is this new statement, you have the keyword merge, and you're going to merge work O and work P. So let me clear out the log, and I'm going to skip this sort statement just so we can see what happens when we try to merge these two data sets. Notice how they're ordered. I have an error message here. So if I zoom in, this error message, error, 5 variables are not properly sorted on dataset work O. I talked about proper sorting in the last video, and here's an occasion where you're going to have to use proc sort before you can actually run this data step. So looking at the order, O, it goes ID 6854. It is not in order, so I need to sort work.O. So I have 5 first, then 6, or 4 first, and then 5, 6, and then 8. Notice here P is in order, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to save me some time not to sort P. Although if P was not in order, I would have to sort that as well. So I run the proc sort, no by statement used or by variables verified. By the ID variable to get it in some kind of order, and then I should not get an error message here. Let me clear my log so we're clear on the message we're getting. When I run the merge again, I do not get an error message. I have 4 variables read from work.O, 4 variables read from work.P, and I should be able to print that data set mrgd. So I do a proc print. I'm gonna be explicit and put data set, the title, and then to be clear, when I'm looking at my output, I'm gonna put the title in my title line so I don't get confused like I did before. Let me move this down. And this would be the two data sets merged together. Now notice I left the observation numbers up here, but a lot of times you're going to use, you're not going to print the observation number, especially if you have an ID variable, which helps to order your data sets when you do things such as merge or use match merge. So to review or to recap, we talked about combining SAS data sets, and we did one-to-one merging, concatenating, appending, interweaving, and match merging. Like I said at the beginning of the video, these are complicated processes, and I just went through an overview of them, and I'll do a video later to get more into how they work and how to understand how the computer reads it step by step, because it's necessary to know that to be able to answer questions efficiently, either on the SAS base certification or in the class you're taking, or to make sure you properly merge files when you're merging them on the job. Thank you. I'll see you in the next video.